Abortion is life or death. People don't have to like it, but every generation has to have a warrior. Charlie Kirk is the first political assassination of our lifetime.
Why are you intense?
I done gave birth to my baby, chained to a bed. I done got framed by my partner. They talking about my mama dead, my grandma dead. I didn't have time to lose my shit.
My dad didn't want me to be born. I'm actually, like, if my mother would have listened, I wouldn't be here.
So what that tells us is that if you go against the grain, you know, they will silence you if you are white like Charlie Kirk or black like Martin Luther King. And race is the biggest distraction.
What would you say is the biggest misconception out there about Angela Stanton King?
That I'm a white supremacist. You align with Trump, they might see me at Mar-a-Lago. They might see me, you know, at the table with him.
Like, how were you bouncing back from that quick trauma?
I just use my life as an example in the light to let other people know that, you know, going to prison is not the end. Yeah. For some of us, it may be the beginning.
Welcome to Crime Pays, the #1 personal development podcast and platform for formerly incarcerated men and women and their families. I am Ash Cash, the financial motivator, and also the #1 self-publishing publisher of entrepreneurs, help them create 6- and 7-figure books.
My intro ain't that long. I'm Jay White, first name, last name, the #1 federal government contracting coach and mentor for sure.
All right, I'm still trying to tweak my bio.
It's all good. It's all
but
good.
today, we have the powerhouse in the building. We have a force of nature. She is a national best-selling author, a presidential advisor, a clemency advocate, and the founder of Auntie Angie's House, a safe haven, helping pregnant women choose life, choose hope, and choose restoration. But her power didn't come from a podium. It came from pain. Angela Stanton King knows what it takes what it feels like to give birth while incarcerated, to be separated from her newborn, to rebuild a life after the system tries to break you, and still rise to become one of the most influential voices in America on justice, motherhood, and faith. From criminal justice reform to presidential campaigns to pardonprocess.com, she has turned her redemption story into a national movement, and now she's stepping into her next era as a faith-based speaker committed to healing communities across the country. Angela Stanton King is not just a survivor. She's a builder, a fighter, a living testimony that every life deserves a second chance. Angela, welcome to Crime Pays.
Wow, that was awesome.
His words was giving life on it.
Yeah.
Bro, I appreciate you.
Right.
I appreciate you. So we was talking offline, but I was first introduced to you about my wife, right? So my wife was like, who is this? Like, who is this woman, right? I believe you were running for office at the time, and you were, smart, articulate, but you knew you were one of us. Like, you knew you were from where we from. Exactly. And so when she introduced me, I'm like, let me check her out. And when I say that it was refreshing to kind of just see your stance, whether it's on politics, whether it's our community, whether it's justice reform, like there were so many things that many people specifically in our community are afraid to say. You were out there, and still are saying them boldly. The fact that, you are unapologetic about us, but then also about where you stand. And so I think this is this is going to be a great discussion because our goal is to really just help those who are formerly incarcerated learn how to thrive beyond the wall, and you've done that on so many different levels. But before we start, in your words, who's Angela Stanton King?
Man, I think you probably hit every base. I'm one of us, like you said. I mean, just grew up in the hood, jumped off the porch early, you know what I'm saying? Hard-headed, knucklehead, wanted to make quick money, wanted to go about things my own way, and had to learn, the hard way. Found myself in a situation like we all do if you made it to this show, and found out that I was pregnant. And when I found out that I was pregnant, a lot of people were trying to get me to abort because I really didn't have a future laid out. I didn't know how much time I was going to have to serve, hadn't even got sentenced yet. And then if you're incarcerated, of course, anything that happens with you is a bill to the state. So they'd rather pay $400 for an abortion than $30,000 for a live birth. And so I just refused to abort, and I ended up giving birth to my baby. Chained to a bed for a nonviolent crime now. Chained to a bed with a sheriff watching. Had her taken from me, and ended up getting out of prison 2.5 years later, trying to get my life together and get my life back on track, which I was able to do. You know what I'm saying? Went from prison, to the palace. Like, it's a long story. I don't want to tell the whole story. I've written plenty of books, but I ended up, getting connected to President Trump during criminal justice reform, his first presidential era. And my godmother, Alveda King, asked me if I would go in and share my story with him about being chained to the bed while giving birth, and I did. And he was just really moved by my story, and he made it illegal for them to chain women to the bed. And I think my fight kind of, really began to take off then. I had always been involved in community service because it was like when I came home and nothing I had lost. My mother and grandmother while I was incarcerated within 6 months of each other. So I literally just came home to 4 children waiting on me and 3 garbage bags of clothes with, nowhere to go. Baby father in prison, facing a life sentence. So, it was one of those situations. And one of the promises I had made God, I was like, when I was praying, because I thought I was going to lose my mind I gave birth to my baby, chained to a bed. I got framed by my partner. They talking about my mama dead, my grandma dead. Like, it was so much, but I had made a promise to God that if he got me out of that situation and restored my life, that I would spend every single day giving back and helping people like me that came from where I came from. So my story is about resilience, but it's also filled with passion. Like, everything I do is connected to a purpose. Even with Auntie Angie's house, of course, that was birthed from my own story, my own pain. That same baby ended up winning, the Harvard International Debate Championship, getting ready to graduate from MIT. So there is value in life. And I just use my life as an example and a light to let other people know that, going to prison is not the end. For some of us, it may be the beginning.
Yeah. I want to go back a little bit to, you said you were able to share your story with the president, right? What part of the story did you share? And obviously, I guess, why did you share that part of your story? Because I ain't gonna answer that question for you because I was gonna answer that first one first.
Well, it was because first I wasn't gonna go.
Okay.
Because I was reading all the reports, about people saying, that the man is a racist, he hates black people or whatever. But then I'm also looking at another part of the news where it's like every black voice of power or leadership is advocating to reunite families at the border. And so now I'm offended because I'm like, anybody, that breaks the law on American soil, even if you're driving on a suspended license, you're going to jail. Your kid is not going to jail with you. Like, it's American law. So have we considered all of the families that have been separated on American soil in the border? So then, of course, now I'm thinking about my own situation. It's a nonviolent crime. You could say it was a crime of survival. I'm a single mother. I'm living in poverty. I'm doing what I got to do to take care of my children. You crossing the border. You want a better life. May the best man win, right? But we don't change the laws at the border. We change the laws in the border. That way, anybody coming across the border, right, is only going to be held accountable by the same laws that we are held accountable for. So God just put this fight in me to begin fighting for our families that had been separated, and it was during that time.
Hey, look, I know you're enjoying the show, but if you're formerly incarcerated or have a family member who was and wants to learn how to thrive beyond the wall, you have to join Crime Pays Nation.
Crime Pays Academy is open right now. Click the link, then get back to the show. Hurry up, hurry up.
And the reason why I shared that was because that was the part of criminal justice reform that needed to be shared. Okay, we talk about, you know, the cocaine, the crack disparity. We talk about, you know, these football numbers, goes dope. But do we talk about women being chained to a bed while giving birth with a sheriff watching?
Yeah.
Right. So God chose me for that moment, and I took it and I ran with it.
Yeah. And so now, you know, let's go back real quick though, right? Because I know you kind of talk about how, you know, it was a crime of survival, right? Can you talk a little bit about, you know, your upbringing, like what led you to, you know, incarceration?
I mean, just a statistic. I mean, just born into, you know, a world of dysfunction, you know, poverty. Everybody else's story. Grew up in the project, you know what I'm saying? Everybody at grandma's house waiting to jump off the porch, a victim of, you know, sexual childhood molestation. You know, we don't want to talk about that in the Black family. We're going to sweep that right up under the rug, you know, voice and innocence stolen at a very young age, you know, and you just get to a point where you like just, you know, hey, it is what it is. And I think that I was one of the ones that was good at whatever I decided to do, right? So if the opportunity presented itself for me to go make 30 or 40, you know, racks, then, you know, I could do that. And I mean, back then, this is the early 2000s, this is Atlanta, everybody balling and playing with pay. I mean, if you just happen to be from the street life.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just happen to be one of those people.
Yeah.
And but the grace and the beauty of it all is that I'm able to sit here today and say that because of my experience that we are on baby 97 at Auntie Angie's house. So that's 97 lives that God has used me to save.
Yeah. Would you say, because you said something that anything that you do, you were great at. And one of the reasons why, you know, our main focus in starting the show was to show, you know, those who were once beyond, you know, behind the wall come home, and we want to highlight those who are doing, you know, amazing things. But the thesis or the theory, if you will, is that a lot of times it's us using the same skill set we had when we were doing the wrong things and just kind of transforming that. For you to, you know, again, like all of the amazing things you've done, you know, multiple published author, running for Congress, like all of the you know, justice reform, all the things that you've been able to do. You know, do you agree with that, right? Because you know, kind of said like,
I think that's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Because I also have another organization, American King Foundation, where we focus on reducing recidivism and criminal justice reform. And one of the things that we'll find if we're paying attention, those of us that are in prison, a lot of us discover our talent while in prison. Okay, like we learn how to cook. Yeah, find some amazing things to do.
Absolutely.
Right? A lot of people, they, you know how to laundry. You know, we people can draw so they can make artwork. People can write. You know what I'm saying? We discover these talents. And all you have to do is take that talent and turn it into a profitable business. And for us, I think that that's the best route, because the majority of us coming home, you know, from prison or going to prison, we really aren't built to work for anybody else. Okay?
Yeah.
And you already know, Ash, financial freedom is the real freedom, and making sure that our names aren't caught up in the system.
No, 100%.
When they're taking they got you chained to the bed, they're taking your baby, and you going through all of that, that's a certain mental state, right? What are you thinking about, and how are you going forth to bring out those creatives, to create a business, and like, how are you bouncing back from that quick trauma?
For me, My children were the reason why I wanted to keep going, and they gave me a reason to live and to not give up. And it's really unfortunate, in this day and age, a lot of women, want to give up their children for their lives. But I was the type of mom that my children gave me a reason to live. So the fact that they had taken my baby was the reason why I couldn't lose my mind. You know what I'm saying? I had something I had to get back to. And then after my mother passed away, I knew I had to get back. Then 6 months after my mother, my grandmother. So I didn't have time to lose my shit. I had to stay on top of it. I had, 4/5 people depended on me. And I just had to get it together. I didn't have any other choice. It's kind of like when they say, you hit rock bottom. You gonna swim or drown.
Yeah. Why is your message and your mission why are you so passionate about it? Like, what do you feel like is driving that passion?
I've seen the result, and there's value in life, and there's a different type of reward that you get in the work that I do, right? We just had a baby yesterday. So when a baby is born through the community service work that we do at Auntie Angie's house, we actually see the result. This is a person, this is a life. And when we say Black Lives Matter, like, this is the real Black Lives Matter movement. Because if you think about it, our organization isn't that big, but we're on baby 97 now. Not if those 97 grow up and have 5. You understand? Because, it's wiping out generations. And I've just learned to come outside of the argument side of it. Like, I don't want to argue about pro-choice, pro-life no more. That ain't my argument, right? I'm just saying we're here, right? So if you decide, right, you at least you have an option. You don't have to feel like you don't have support. And when women know that they're not alone and they have support, because most women do want to keep their babies, right? Think about your mama. Mom, come on. We love our babies, for real. We got to change the narrative. But they just need to know that they got support, and that's why we're there. And it pays off.
You talk about restoration a lot, right? What does restoration look like for women who've been incarcerated or abandoned? Specifically when I think about mass incarceration, like you said, football numbers, things of that nature. A lot of times the focus is on the men, but what does it look like for women?
I think for most women, we take our pain and turn it into a purpose. And that's kind of like what keeps us going. And unfortunately, the odds are against men. Most women do have, a support system to go home to, a family to go home to. And most men, when they get out of prison, they don't have that at all. And then if they don't have that, they might have $80,000 worth of child support sitting over their head and still got probation and all of these other issues. But I think that with women, it's pain over purpose. And then another thing, too, is like what I said before, most of us do have children. And a lot of us, the women I know, like, I ain't hang around no crackheads or, everybody I hung with was a boss. And a lot of the women that I know did what they did to provide a lifestyle for their children.
What up? It's your man Jay White, first name, last name. I'm happy you're here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. I want to welcome you to join the Crack the Code community, where I wrap my arms around you and teach you all the ins and outs of federal government contracting, the middleman or middlewoman way. In my community on a weekly basis, you're going to get a Wednesday night call with me. You're going to get many courses and also training material. It's nothing like being in the community where everybody is joining hands, trying to learn the same process and get to this federal government contracting money. I'm going to see you on the other side. Click that link right now.
Yeah. And so that let's talk rebrand, right? As you're rebranding right now into a faith-based, speaker, what's the core message that God told you to share with the people?
Tell the truth and shame the devil, and be unapologetic about it. Like, if you don't want to hear the honest to God answer, don't ask me. Don't bring me on your show. You already know who Angela Stanton King is. You watched enough interviews. Like, tell the truth and shame the devil. Because the only way we are going to ever be free is if we tell the truth. Because what? The truth will do what?
Set you free.
Okay.
Yep.
And so let's share some of that truth. What is that truth? What is the truth?
I mean, I'm not here to really get political.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. But one of the truths is that we got a bigger enemy besides race. Okay. It's not just about black and white.
Yeah.
And we just witnessed this because Charlie Kirk was the first political assassination of our lifetime. We didn't live through, most of us, we didn't live through Malcolm X and Robert Kennedy and John F. Kennedy and all of those people that were assassinated. Charlie Kirk and Martin Luther King. Charlie Kirk is the first political assassination of our lifetime. So what that tells us is that if you go against the grain, right, they will silence you if you are white like Charlie Kirk or black like Martin Luther King. And race is the biggest distraction. Not only that, I've spent time on both sides of the political aisle, Republican and Democrat. I'm independent. Now, you know why I'm independent? Because what I'm doing with Auntie Angie's house and what I'm doing for our community, I've done on my own with no government assistance whatsoever. So I know, right, that there are enough of us, right, to get this shit on track if we really want to.
Yeah.
I'm waiting around, begging the government, asking them to do. It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
As
we can do it.
Independent, what do your alignments look like, right?
People over party, in the middle, not too far right, not too far left. Be solution based. We just had an event at Georgia State University. It was called the group chat. Everybody's welcome. I don't care what your political alignment is. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what your sexual preference is, because when we remove all those labels, all right, Thanksgiving coming up, we about to be at the table with the whole fam. We don't all agree. But if you touch one of them, it's going down. Okay, we still love each other. All right, we all love grandma. You might feel like we need to take care of her this way. You might feel like we're not enemies. So the group chat and being independent is about bringing every voice to the table and being solution-based. And I just learned that through, like I said, with Auntie Angie's house. Like, I'm done arguing with y'all. Where are we getting in an argument? Here's the solution. And when I provide that solution, Democrat, Republican, gay, straight, everybody like, let's help women and children.
What's the, so Auntie Annie's house, 97 babies as of yesterday, right?
96 yesterday. We got another one on the way.
Okay, 96. What's the 5-year future vision for Auntie?
Well, we just started a church affiliate program where we're asking different ministries to adopt a home and house one in their states. We want to expand. We want a Auntie Angie's house everywhere that there is a Planned Parenthood. I mean, if it's really about giving them a choice, you're not giving me a choice if Planned Parenthood is the only place that I have to go, right? So, like, if we hungry, we want to go to lunch, you go on the corner, McDonald's on one side, Burger King on the other side. You have a choice. Let's really give them a choice. And if we begin to, value life in that manner instead of supporting something that terminates it, let's just be honest, then I think the atmosphere and the frequency will change. And I think that maybe some of our prayers will be answered.
Changing the changing the frequency is a thing from from this way or that way, right? So what do you feel like your message hits to keep that frequency in the way you want it, in the direction you want?
I think what people love about me is I'm genuine. Like, you gonna get Angie.
Yeah.
There ain't no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I'm who I am. I'ma stand on what I stand on. I ain't talking about it. I'm really about it. I'm in the community really doing the work. I ain't sitting on the mic. I'm not no grifter. All of our funding has come from just private donations. We haven't gotten any support from the government. This is just grassroots, me and my people making this happen. And so I know if I can do it, for one, I don't need a political seat to do it because I've done it. For two, what about the people who really, really got it? Now, God done blessed me, but it's a lot of us that's been blessed, okay? And we talk about this all day. I was just talking to Polo the Don. I was with him yesterday. And I was saying, can you imagine if we created something where we had 1 million Black people just donate $1 a week, okay? We could take $1 million a week and go and start investing in our own communities, rebuilding our own communities. Why are we waiting on politicians who we know have been bought and sold out.
Yeah.
You know why? Like this is my personal take on it. Our community, our Black community as a whole, a lot of us don't trust. So our trust has been broken with doing business with other people in Black communities, and our Black community isn't whole. We're a group over here, we're a group over here, we're a group over here, we're a group over here. But when you look at the Jewish community, they ain't separated like that. In Baltimore, Maryland, that's where I'm from, by way of Virginia, they got whole blocks. We, as a Black community, for whatever reason, can't seem to have that amazing idea you have. We donate $1 a day or $1 a week. 1 million people, that's $1 million a week. We can't do it because of the trust issue. What do you think will start to break those barriers down so a program like that can actually come to fruition?
I think it depends on who does it. I mean, Beyonce can get you to spend $1,300 to come to her concert during tax season. Okay, Michael Jordan can get you to go spend $300 on a pair of shoes every 6 weeks. I think it depends on who is asking for it. But until then, each one teach one. Everybody do their part. It takes a village. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm over here doing my part. When we serious, it'll happen.
Yeah.
Everything else is VS.
Yeah. You built pardonprocess.com. And you've worked, directly with, presidential leadership. What part of the justice system do you believe is most broken? And what would it take to fix it?
I mean, sentencing disparities, of course. Number one, I mean, people, the punishment of the crime is just far exceeding, you know what I'm saying, the length of time that it should be, if you ask me. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. And I don't believe that there's any real rehabilitation in prison. You know what I'm saying? And I just think the system is completely broken because, like, if you know that there's a fatherless children issue in our community, right? And we know that when it comes to mass incarceration, the majority of men incarcerated are Black men that are fathers, right? Instead of just letting child support build up and build up and build up and build up, why not allow them to work and send money home to take care of their families, right? It's just simple things, right? Communications, like even when a loved one passes away, like I just posted on my page, Big U can't even go to his son's funeral because they saying that he a risk to the community, right? I couldn't go to my mother's funeral because of Brian Nichols. He had shot up the courthouse, had nothing to do with me. But there are all type of reform, mental health. Yeah. You can't put nobody in prison and put them in a cage like a dog for even if it's just 2.5 years like me. But look what happened. Damn. Chained to the bed having a baby. Yeah. Share watching. Mama pass away. Grandma pass away. Like, where is the rehabilitation? And then you cut them loose back out on the streets. And
with no help to deal with the trauma.
No help, nowhere to go, no community support. And then half of and things are changing now, but half of the educational courses that they offer in prison, you'll go to prison, you'll take the course, and then you get out and you can't even get a license practicing in that field because you're a convicted felon. Like, let's make it make sense.
Yeah. And so you've done a lot of work then with clemency, right? So why do you think clemency is such a powerful tool? And honestly, why don't a lot of us know how it really works?
I think well, for the first part of your question, I think that most people are deserving of a second chance. Who deserves to be in prison for life? Yeah. Is it somebody that got caught with drugs when you see Trump and Bobby, RFK at war right now with Big Pharma? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that a person that deserves to be in prison for the rest of their life? And when, these people go to prison, their families serve their sentences with them. So the thing about it is how long is long enough? That's the first part of your question. What was the second part?
Why don't people know
more? Because I think we just don't really lazy. Don't search the information. I mean, this is the day and age of AI. You can really learn anything. And I think that we sleep in a lot of instances because You know, a lot of foreigners come over here. They come into our communities. They able to get access to grants and loans and stuff.
Yeah.
And why is that? It's not that it's something on the grant or the loan that say you can't get this if you Black. It's just we're not aware. We're not educating ourselves on the opportunities that's available to us. And I mean, and some of it is, of course, redlining. We get that, but we got to make sure that, especially anybody like us that's been to prison, that we go the extra mile to get the information that we need. And so, and if you lazy and don't want to get the information that you need, then there goes to entrepreneurship. We create a business to help you. And then, or you might just want me because you've seen I've done it. You know, I'm someone, I've gotten a presidential pardon and a state pardon. So you might just want to come to me because you figure I know how the process goes. And I do. And I'm here to help the people. And that's why you make it affordable. If you can go spend $200, $300 on a pair of shoes, you can spend $200-$300 to get your record clean. And helping people understand the difference between expungement and a pardon.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of us run around here thinking we good because we got something expunged off our record. Expungement does not forgive the crime, meaning that if you are a convicted felon and you get caught with a gun, although you may have that charge erased off of your background, but when you go before that judge, you are still going to be penalized, right? As if you are a convicted felon because you didn't get pardoned for the charge. They just hid it. So our people don't have that information. So I feel like what you do is great. Financial literacy, number one step to freedom for our people. Number two, we got to get out their system.
Yeah.
It's just a roadblock.
Yeah. And one of the things that common thread that I hear, and I like knowing you, the common thread is do for self, right? Like, you know, if you want something done, you know, you'll knock on doors, but if it ain't getting done, Angie's gonna make it happen, right? It's for those who are coming home, about to come home, you know, is that the key also? Like entrepreneurship, doing for self.
I mean, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
And then everybody's situation is different. Like me, I didn't get to come home, you know, and get to go live with my mom or get, you know, those 60 days or 6 months to get on my feet. I didn't get to come home and baby daddy was waiting to take care of me. I came home to 3 garbage bags and a tombstone and 2 tombstones. I didn't have a choice. So in order for you to survive in this world, now I'm not saying you have to have those experiences in order to have that type of ambition, but you have to understand what type of world that we are living in, and only the strong survive. So it's really about how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
Miss Angie, let me ask you a question. Why are you intense? Did you know that? Like, intense in not in a way like, and I don't want you or anybody
not
take
intense, I'm anointed.
No. I don't want you or anybody to take it the wrong way, because my all of the women in my family are intense, right? It allows me to know that, number one, you're not gonna play with them. Number two, when you talk, there's authority and power behind your words. Number two, number three, if you're gonna be presented with questions and you're providing answers, you said this earlier, be prepared to hear the truth. My question is this: with the passion and the intensity that you have, is there a Miss Angie that probably should have been a lawyer at any point?
Do you know I have some people right now that are willing? I got a group of lawyers that want to send me to school to become a trial lawyer.
I want to see
they want to completely fund it. They want me to go be a trial lawyer, and I'm considering it because I'm in a new stage, in a new era in my life. Like, you know, when we turn the page, because what's the name of the show? Crime Pays. And I would have to say, now, I don't want to mislead nobody, and I don't want to encourage anybody to do the wrong thing. But if you can come out and turn your life around, if you can go from the trap house to the White House, if you can go from the prison to the palace, then maybe crime does pay if you do the right thing. And if you take your pain and you turn it to your purpose.
That's our drop. We keep it that.
For sure.
Crime Pays drop.
For sure.
We keep it that.
It's for me, again, like I recognize energy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know you. I just met you just now, right? And I'm recognizing the energy and the authority and the seriousness about, number one, your message and your mission. So I know when you're helping an individual, that individual might not know it, but I know you're taking it extremely serious, because it is not going to just impact them. It's going to impact the other people that want to be helped by your guidance and your mission and stuff like that. So.
Right. So if you encounter me, right, and I offer you my services, definitely be serious. I just don't have time to play. Like, I got too much to do. And back to that faith walk that we were talking about, like, I'm not the type of preacher that can be confined to a building, okay? Because when Jesus came, Jesus dwelled amongst the sick. So don't expect me to be, in a church house, at least not now, because the demographic that God sent me for, not coming to church, okay? Yeah. So I have to go out into the wilderness, okay? And those are the ones that have to hear the message. So my journey is a little bit different, but it's still appointed and it's still anointed, right? And I'm still chosen for this day, and I'm gonna do the work.
Do you think that, like, we're in like spiritual war right now?
Of course we are.
Yeah.
Because what's on the ballot?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about it. And I don't know what everybody's religious background is, but I have a bachelor's in psychology, and I have studied world religions, and I know that most religions are, for the betterment of humanity, and most of them have the same basic principles, okay? And most of us, we believe in God, regardless of how you address them. And we also believe in the battle of Armageddon, and what was that battle? That battle was the battle of life and death. What is on the ballot? Okay? Abortion is life or death. And people don't have to like it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But if every generation has to have a warrior. Every generation needs a Martin Luther King, because the battle is good versus evil, right? And these issues that we have, like back then with MLK and all of them, they had a different fight, right? These evil just evolves. You understand where I'm coming from? Yeah. So we might be the warriors for this day. God might have had y'all set this up because y'all can set people free in this way.
For sure.
I'm over here doing this work. But imagine if somebody had been in your mother's ear telling her to abort you. This is spiritual.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And we got to wake up.
Yeah.
I mean, oddly enough, and I don't know if I was supposed to know this, but that was the case, actually. My dad didn't want me to be born. So I'm the youngest of three. I got an older brother. I have a sister. My sister was born, which my dad didn't want, and then my mother got pregnant with another child after my sister, and my dad was like, no more kids, and so she got that child aborted, got pregnant again, and my dad was like, no more kids, and she refused, and so I'm actually like, if my mother would have listened, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And what we have to realize is that, like, abortion wipes out generations.
1,000%.
Because now you have had children.
Yeah.
And your children are going to grow up and have children. And these are our bloodlines. Sure. We ain't no way on the front line, folks. We gotta and we have to understand why it was created. When we get educated on who Margaret Sanger was, and why they put all the abortion clinics in our community. Once we do that and realize that we got all the abortion clinics and they got the fertility clinics, and ain't no abortion clinics at the border.
Yeah. And then you also think about, because yes, the bloodline, but then you think about the effects, right? I think about, for me specifically, the lives that God has allowed me to bless and help. Right. And, imagine the work that I'm doing, the work that, Jay White's doing, the work that you're doing. It wouldn't manifest if we weren't here.
And that's why there was an attack on your life, because imagine if we're at war, I'm going for the strongest one. Yeah. If I take you out, I ain't got to worry about the 10,000 that you going to save through your work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, definitely spiritual. And I think that I'm just glad that God is giving us these platforms to have these conversations and wake our people up. I used to be angry about it because I was like, why can't they see? Why don't they understand? But you have to realize that abortion was legalized in 1974. Like it's been something that's been a part of, just embedded in who we are. I wasn't born until 77. So at one time, slavery was legal.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't even look at us as human.
Yeah.
Okay? And then it had to be outlawed. So you have to expose the truth.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Wow. You've helped shape national criminal justice conversations. For people inside watching this, what's the simplest thing they can do today to prepare for freedom?
Don't get in no trouble. Okay, for one thing, because they're definitely going to pull your record while you are in prison to see what classes you've taken, what you've done to improve your life. Have a plan. Make every day count. When you talk about crime plays and we were talking about discovering these talents, I wrote my first book when I was in prison. I mean, every single day I walked around the prison with a pen and a pad and that little carbon piece of paper, writing up a little contract. Life Beyond These Walls was that book, getting women to share their stories with me about, their crimes and what they would do differently. And that was my very first book. And now today I own a publishing company. We've been in business for 10 years. I've been national bestseller 3 times. We've published over 400 books. We published for just about everybody in the city. And I mean, I've taken that talent and turned it into a business. Have a plan. What's your plan? And start working on it.
Yeah.
Miss Angie, I got a question for you. Why you gotta look at me like that? I
like questions. Come on with it.
All right. My sister is currently incarcerated now. She's on her 13th year, 13th or 14th year. Would you be willing to write her a letter if I give you the address and contact?
Yeah, because you put me on the spot.
You could.
I mean,
that's some of the stuff I do.
Like
That's some of the stuff.
But I would have done it anyway because I do. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I encourage people to keep going and to not give up. And I mean, just use your time wisely. You're not going to get it back.
Yeah.
You understand? Make every day count.
Yeah, she'll definitely appreciate it for sure.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yes, man.
Jay White, he said you're like intense, right? I know you, so
right.
I know you. And yes, you're intense, but your heart is like you got one of the purest hearts that I know, right?
Right.
What would you say is the biggest misconception out there about Angela Stanton King?
That I'm a white supremacist.
People think that.
I mean, because they see you align with Trump. They might see me at Mar-a-Lago. They might see me, at the table with him, and they just want to automatically align me with MAGA, kind of like how they doing Nicki Minaj right now, but nobody had shit to say when Kim Kardashian was all in the White House. Like, I feel like we give them white privilege, right? We cry about white privilege.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian get a pass
to
have all the black men she want and the white men.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj want to go in, talk about the persecution of Christians. It ain't a bad message, regardless of how everybody feel.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they get on my nerves with that. But I just feel like at the end of the day, whatever we do, however we gonna move forward, it's gonna fall on us. It's up to us.
Yeah. Love that.
I mean, listen.
Well, she got some big ears.
Listen, I've been enjoying this interview.
Yeah.
All the intensity, all the passion, and all the straight, truthful talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm like, whatever.
You remind me of home.
What I advocate for is what I advocate for, no matter what table I'm at.
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm advocating for criminal justice reform, it don't matter if I'm at the table with Joe Biden or Trump. Like, we have to understand, like, you got to operate in your favor.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't able to go in and sit down and talk to Trump.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that like I feel like I'm a top dog, but operate in your favor. Like, I would never be called to a Biden's White House. So during that whole administration, I wasn't online attacking nobody that went in there. Because if you went in there and you advocating for us, do what you do. Like, we can't sit down and not get nothing for 4 years because we mad because somebody in the seat that we don't like.
Right.
The Asians that do your feet every week in the hood don't like you. You still doing business with them and taking them your money.
Yeah.
Business is business.
Yeah.
And if I can go in there and set black men and women free, and myself in the process, man,
let's do it.
What's all the ways that everybody can get in contact with you and your organizations?
Well, I'm on IG. I'm probably one of the most shadow bad people on IG, but look, the Angela Stanton, the Auntie Angie. You can find me on X. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on IG, and the organization is AuntieAngie'sHouse.org. And I think that I want to ask everybody and to encourage everybody to become a part of this grassroots movement. Like, we really saving lives. You know what I'm saying? And we'll help anybody. It ain't got to be black. Like, we believe in life, period. But we are targeting the black community, because if Planned Parenthood can target us for abortion, then Auntie Angie's House can target us for life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I do have a question about reinvention, because I think you're like the queen of reinvention, right? Because like, there's so many times you reinvented yourself. Like, at any time you want to pivot and do something different, you reinvent yourself. What is the blueprint? What is the formula?
Blueprint?
What is that?
Blend in or bond out. You better get with the program. You better get up on it. Time evolves. It waits on no man. If I'm doing something for a certain amount of time and it ain't working, do something else. Like, nothing beats failure but a try.
Yeah.
Keep going until you win. I don't take no for an answer.
Yeah. No, I love it.
I already know you don't take no for an answer. I found that out in this interview right here, in this conversation.
And my last question, I don't know if Jay got questions, but my last question, what advice do you give to women coming home with nothing but shame, scars, and survival instincts?
It goes back to taking that pain and turning it into a purpose. Everybody has a story, right? Don't be ashamed. Figure out, what was your purpose for having that experience?
Yeah.
What was my reason for going to prison on something dumb and giving birth to my baby chained to a bed with a sheriff watching? The reason was because 18 years later, you was going to be sitting in the Oval Office with the president, sharing your story and getting the law changed.
Yeah.
Okay? The reason was to show that even though this baby was born in a prison to two incarcerated parents, that there is still value in life. My baby about to walk across the stage, and my baby, you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a reason for everything. Yeah.
For sure.
I agree.
For sure.
I agree with
well,
that.
Ange, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? We made it happen, you know.
Yes.
We did. We went through some shit, but we here.
It's love.
It's all love.
Always love.
Okay.
It's always love.
Of
It's always
course.
love. And I appreciate you for
Yeah.
always being you, for always being authentic, for always, just being Ange, and we need that in our community. In our community, I think that's the biggest thing, is that we don't have we don't allow each other to have conversations freely. Right. And so I appreciate you for being who you are. Again, where can the people find you?
Again, the Auntie Angie on X. You can find me on TikTok and IG, the Angie Stanton, and you can support our organization. You can sign up to make a monthly donation, $5, $10. It all helps. AuntieAngie'sHouse.org. Let's do it.
Hey.
All right, y'all. We are wrapping up another awesome episode of Crime Pays, the #1 personal development platform for formerly incarcerated men and women and their family. I am Ash Cash, the financial motivator.
I'm Jay White, first name, last name, #1 federal government contracting coach and mentor for sure.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next time. Same place, and God's will.